Ground and pound. Ground and pound. Ground and pound.
Hallo liebe Fight-Fans, der Mann neben mir hat in letzter Zeit für sehr viel Furore gesorgt. Das ist der neue Besitzer von TapouT, Hitman und Silverstar, Jamie Salter. So Jamie, the news breaking in there and everybody's reading TapouT, Silverstar and Hitman have a new owner. Can you tell us something about this deal, what is going on and what's happened in the future?
Well, we feel very strongly about, obviously, about MMA and the sport and the UFC, and we felt that very much like the snowboard business back in the early 90s, which I was very involved in, you know, Ride Snowboards, which is still one of the top snowboard companies in the world. We felt that this space is very similar, where it's exploding all over the world, and we felt that getting into this business, we're going to have a lot of growth over the next 10 years. And so we looked at the companies that are in this business today, and the more research that we did, TapouT and Silverstar continued to rise to the top. Silverstar being a lifestyle brand, and TapouT being really core to the consumer of MMA, and predominantly, obviously, of the UFC being the league and being the strongest league, you know, in the business. So we approached TapouT and Silverstar at the same time, and we negotiated both deals, and we were successful, and we're very excited that we were successful in buying both of those brands. We're positioning them a little bit differently. TapouT for us is more about the authenticity of the sport, and whereas Silverstar is going to be more of a lifestyle company. So our vision of TapouT, and we say it, our vision of the sport is going to be discipline, respect, performance, training, and honor. Those are the 5 attributes that make up the new TapouT. And again, I'll say it for you: performance, training, discipline, honor, and respect. And in any particular order, it doesn't really matter. And you know, you kind of like say those are strong words, but when we look at this business, that's what this business is.
Yeah,
and, you know,
absolutely.
This business has been around for a very, very long time. I mean, I'm 47 years old, and I have kids. My oldest son is 22 years old. I mean, I had him in karate class when he was 5.
Yeah.
So that was all about discipline, and it was all about respect. And so it's no different. You know, MMA is just really, it's a new word for you know, karate. Okay, it's been around for a very, very long time, and we believe that this is a business that is here to stay.
Yeah.
And today it's the fastest growing sport in the world, and the UFC is by far the fastest growing league in the world. It's the only league that we've ever seen, and we've watched the NFL and we've watched the NHL and NBA. It is the only league that is really global. Yeah. Where you can see that the UFC is strong in Germany, they're strong in the Philippines, they're strong in America, they're strong in Canada. So it's just an incredible thing that is going on right now. So wherever the UFC goes, we're going to go. And if the UFC goes to China, we're going to China. If the UFC goes to Europe, we're going to Europe. We're going to follow them wherever they go. We think that they are an incredible marketing, you know, media and entertainment company, as well as they have a great brand. So we're really watching what they're doing also.
Let me ask you this question. There are many other organizations like Strikeforce, Dream in Japan and in America. TapouT has an exclusive contract with the UFC. What is about other fighters who are fighting their own organization? Do they have a chance, for example, Silverstar, Hitman, Gio to wear, or is it also only exclusive for the UFC fighters?
We will stick with the UFC.
Okay.
We feel very strongly that that's the organization that we want to stay with. Yeah. We believe that they're the best, yeah. And it's the old story, right? If you're with the best, why go for secondary?
Okay. There were also rumors like Punkass and Skyscraper, they are the faces of TapouT. Which they are involved in TapouT now. We hear some rumors that they are still presidents of TapouT.
Yes, you know, actually, Punkass, Dan. There's Dan over there.
Maybe we film him? Can we get over there?
Punkass, come on over. Punkass, we're in an interview right now.
We're in an interview, it's filming.
Yeah,
I asked him the question, there were some rumors after that you are still president with Skyscraper because of new ownership. Can you tell us what's going on there? In Germany there's a little bit confusion now. What are Punkass and Skyscraper now doing? Can you tell for the German public and the German-speaking Europe, what are your influence in TapouT and what is your goal?
Well, actually, I bought an island out in Fiji, and I'm resting there. No, no, brother, I can't leave. Where am I going to go? You know, I mean, I love this brand so much, and I love the sport, and I love what we're doing, and this is just another chapter in the book. And luckily, we get to work with great people, and it's just another chapter in the book, and we're just moving on and upward. And those rumors are true. So they can't get me out. They tried to push me out the door. They couldn't get me out. I dug in. So we are. I'll be running the president of the TapouT division, and Scrape is the vice president, and we'll continue to do what we've been doing, and just we'll have great people to help us do it better.
Yeah. So with the three brands, is there a possibility that a T-shirt will come out with all three brands their influence have in there, or is it too difficult?
No. There's two camps. There's two camps.
Okay.
There's a Silver Star camp. There's a TapouT camp.
Yeah, I have to ask you that is a clear statement.
Yes, there is clear. Luke is doing his thing with Silver Star, and Dan is doing his thing with TapouT. I will tell you, we do get them to go to the dinner table together now, but you know, they come back out the next day, and it's...
that last dinner we threw the table over, and we were all, no, we're still all, you know, I've known Luke forever. We all grew up in the same area, so I've known those guys for a long time. He's been in the business. He was actually in the business before us, so you know, he's had his brand for a long time, and we've had nothing but respect for him. But I always tell Luke, you know, he called me one day, this is a long time ago, and he asked me for a favor, and I'd say, hey brother, you know, when we get on the football field, you know, I'm trying to take your head off every single time. And when we get off, we can shake hands and pat, and then go back to doing what we do. But you know, I couldn't do it then, and now we're allowed to give a little, you know, we help each other out if we can, but for the most part, we're two different camps, and we'll continue to run that way.
To talk about a little bit of competition, I saw in the TapouT series that that Matt Hughes hit you and something like that, that you are a very hard sportsman. Do you compete by yourself or only training?
No, I pretty much just train. You know, our schedules are really, you know, busy, and we're flying all over and working all the time. So I love training. I mean, that's why I got into it, was I love to train with those guys. And I'm kind of the punching bag for a lot of the guys getting ready for a fight. I get in there, they beat me up for a couple rounds, and they move on to the next guy, you know. So I have a lot of respect for what those guys do in the ring or in the cage, and that respect allows me not to want to get in there.
And young fighters, so maybe probably not a big name, but one foot in the UFC, can also trust in your support that you do everything to get them and make a big career for him.
Yeah, we love those guys. You know, I mean, that's how the sport is where it is today. I mean, there's guys that, you know, are training, they're out there, they're the future stars of tomorrow, and we look forward to seeing them in the UFC, and they need to know that if they keep training, then one day that can be them inside that cage, and there's that opportunity is there for everybody.
The last question I have to you, it's you give me the answer a little bit for extreme sport. You were in snowboard, and it's a kind of extreme sport too. It's not so, it's a little bit underground. What is so fascinating for you to get into this sport, which is not mainstream, also known as, for you say NFL and something like that?
I mean, I do believe that yes, there is a bit of extreme in this sport, but I do believe that this sport is more mainstream than pretty much any sport in the world. It's called fitness, get into shape.
Yeah.
Okay? If you look at MMA, all the football players are training MMA, all the NBA guys are training MMA, all the hockey players are training MMA.
Yeah.
Why are they training MMA? Because it is the best way to get into shape. So I actually see this more mainstream than anything I've seen in a long time. So I don't think it's extreme sport. I think that this is just mainstream, and you look at all the people around this room, they're pretty mainstream, if you ask me, and it's a way of life. I mean, you look like a guy that's in pretty good shape.
Thank you.
Okay, so
thank you. I train for it, but I don't think that I have a chance in the octagon.
Well, you know what? Look, the octagon is a great sport. It's a great way for two athletes to compete. But 99% of the people, they go in, like my kids, I have a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old. They go to the Revolution gym and they train MMA. I promise you they're not going to go into the octagon. But my kid's a great hockey player, and he believes the training, MMA makes him a better hockey player.